1 year after the Vexari first came to Earth, the watching machines found the first Krell ships entering our solar system. Earth and the Vexari had used the time well. Together, they built strong walls around the planet and made weapons that could work in space. But Da had been working on a different plan. The Krell don't hear like we do, he told the joined human Vexari defense group. They grew up in places with almost no sound. They see light patterns better than they hear sound. They talk with light, not noise. That's why they never understood us, Voice added. The Vexari's skin showed sad colors. When we tried to talk peace, they saw nothing. Day nodded. But now we know both ways. We've made a message that works in both sound and light at the same time. It carries the same feelings in 2 different body languages. Admiral Han looked at the message plans. This isn't a weapon, he said. No, said Da, but it might work better than any gun we could build. The first Krell ship came to Earth orbit on a spring day. Cherry trees were blooming in the parks. The Krell ship was big and sharp-looking. It wasn't smooth like the Vexari ships. It was built to use light well, not sound. As the Krell ship took position, Earth and the Vexari sent Da's message. They called it simply the greeting. It started with the same heartbeat sound from Bridge Between Stars. But now, with each sound beat, lights flashed in patterns that meant the same thing. For 9 minutes, the message played, 1 minute longer than the first song to the Vexari. The extra minute showed the year of friendship between humans and Vexari. When it ended, the Krell ship sat still. Nothing happened for a long time. People around the world held their breath. Would the Krell attack anyway? Then the Krell ship sent back a message. It was all light patterns, no sound. Sue's computer system changed it into something humans could understand. On screens around Earth, words appeared. We see you. We have never seen you before. Day stood in the big control room with Jia and Voice. He smiled for the first time in weeks. They understand. Not everything, not yet, but they know we're trying to talk to them. Voice's skin showed bright, happy colors. In all our fighting years, we never found a way to make them see our words. You have given both our peoples a great gift. The Krell ship moved to a safe position and asked for more talk. For the first time ever, the 3 groups, human, Vexari, and Krell, began to share ideas. That night, Da looked at the stars from his window. Jia stood beside him. You did it again, she said. You built another bridge with music. Not just me, Da said. All of us together. And not just with music this time. With light too. What do you think will happen now? Jia asked. Da thought about it. I think we'll learn. We'll grow. The universe is full of different kinds of thinking beings. Each one sees and hears the world in their own way. But deep down, we all want the same things: safety, home, friends, beauty. You never wanted to fight, Jia said softly. So you made them listen instead. Yes, Da nodded. Sometimes the best way to stop a fight isn't with bigger weapons, it's with better understanding. As the 3 different ships, human, Vexari, and Krell, circled Earth together, a new chapter began. The story of 3 very different peoples learning to share one small part of the big wide universe. With the new friendship between Earth and the Vexari, Dai was put in charge of something called the Harmony Project. This was a plan to build better ways for the 2 groups to talk to each other using music and feeling. Teams of music makers, math people, word experts, and scientists worked together in big buildings all around the world. The Vexari taught humans about other aliens they had met and how each one felt things differently. Jia led a team that made machines to change emotional sounds between different life forms. We're not just making word changers, she told new workers. We're building ways for very different beings to really understand each other. Day spent most days with Voice. They learned about each other's worlds. They found that Vexari art was a lot like human music. Both tried to share deep feelings that simple words couldn't explain. Our bodies grew differently, Dai wrote in his notebook. But our hearts work the same way. We both know what beauty is. We both know what sadness is. Maybe all thinking beings in space feel the same big feelings. 6 months after the Vexeri came, humans and Vexeri made music together for the first time. They called their song First Meeting. It used instruments from both worlds to make new sounds no one had heard before. When the song played around Earth and on Vexeri ships, something strange happened. People felt things they had never felt before. The Vexeri could naturally share feelings through sound. Now, with the new mixed music, humans could feel a little bit of this power too. People in concert halls held hands with strangers. Some cried. Others laughed. For a few minutes, they felt what it was like to be Vexeri, to share hearts through sound. This is just the start, Dad told world leaders after the first concert. We're learning to speak a language that all thinking beings can share. Admiral Han, who had been so doubtful at first, came to see Da. The old military man looked different now, less angry, more open. I was wrong about your music plan, he said simply. I thought fighting was the only way. You showed us another path. Day smiled. Music has always been a better bridge than weapons. The Vexeri helped humans build better spaceships. They taught us how to make new kinds of power. Humans showed the Vexeri how to grow food in different places and how to heal sickness better. More Vexeri came to live on Earth. Some humans went to live on Vexeri ships. Children from both groups played together, learning each other's ways. But even in this happy time, everyone knew the danger coming. The Krell were still out there, moving closer every day. One night, Dai found Voice looking at the stars from a high building. Are you worried about the Krell? Dai asked. Voice's skin turned dark blue, the color of deep thought. The alien made soft sounds that Dai now understood. Yes, Voice said through sounds. The Krell have destroyed many worlds. They do not listen. They do not feel. They only take. Then we must make them listen, Dai said. We must find a way to reach them like we reached you. Voice's skin lightened. That is why we needed humans. For thousands of years, we tried to fight the Krell. We never thought to change how we talk to them. You showed us that different beings need different kinds of bridges. Together they watched the stars, thinking about the hard work ahead. The Krell were coming. But now, Earth was not alone. The meetings with the Vexeri continued for days. It was unlike any talk between nations on Earth. The humans brought sound experts and language people. The Vexeri brought their best sound makers. Together, they built a new way to talk. Dai learned that the Vexeri came from a world with thick air and lots of water. Sound moved differently there. They grew up using sounds to share feelings, not just words. Their war with another alien group called the Krell had gone on for hundreds of years. The Krell could not feel the emotional parts of Vexeri sounds. They thought we would be like the Krell, Dad told Earth's leaders. They thought we could hear their sounds but not feel the emotions in them. Our music showed them we could understand both parts of their language. 2 weeks after the first landing, the Vexeri offered to be friends with Earth. They would share their space machines and knowledge. In return, they wanted some of Earth's materials and a place to stay in our solar system. They needed this to defend against the Krell, who were coming this way. Not everyone trusted this new friendship. Admiral Han still had doubts. How do we know they're telling the truth? He asked during a big meeting. First they want to attack us. Now they want to be our friends. Maybe they're just tricking us. Dad had spent more time with the Vexeri than anyone. I know what they feel now. Their fear of the Krell is real. Their sorry feeling about how they first talked to us is real. And they really do respect humans now. The Vexeri leader, who humans now called Voice, shared pictures of Krell attacks on other worlds. The images were scary. Whole planets had been destroyed. Earth needed friends to survive what was coming. The next day, Earth's leaders voted to join with the Vexeri. We will share our home with you, the world president told Voice, and we will face the Krell together. That night, There was a party. Humans and Vexari shared food and music. Dai played his instruments, and Voice made beautiful sound patterns. The two sounds mixed together in new ways. Even Admiral Han smiled a little. Jia found Dai sitting alone later. "Did you ever think you would save the world with music?" she asked. Dai shook his head. "I just wanted to make sounds that touched hearts. I never thought those sounds would reach across space." "What happens next?" Jia asked. "We learn from each other," Dai said. "The Vexari know things about space and sound that we never dreamed of, and we know things about working together that they need to learn." Voice joined them, moving smoothly across the room. The alien made soft sounds that Dai now understood as a greeting. "Voice says the Krell will come in about 1 year," Dai translated. "We have that long to get ready." "Will we be strong enough?" Jia asked. Dai looked at Voice, then back at Jia. "I don't know, but we'll face them together. That makes us stronger than either of us alone." As they looked up at the stars, Dai thought about how strange life was. A month ago, he was just a musician. Now he was helping build a bridge between two worlds. And soon, that bridge might save both their peoples. The Vexari message played on all Earth channels for exactly the same time as Bridge Between Stars. When it finished, Dai's team worked hard to understand it. "Play it again," Dai said, closing his eyes to listen better. They played the alien music 5 more times. Each time, Dai wrote notes about the sounds. "I'm starting to understand," he told the Earth Defense Council later that day. "Their music tells a story, just like ours did. They've been fighting another alien group for many years. They came to Earth looking for resources and friends, but they're used to war. They didn't know how to ask nicely. So their threats were just bad manners." Admiral Han asked, looking confused. "Kind of," Jia said. "It's like someone who only knows how to yell because they grew up in a loud, angry house. They don't know how to speak softly." Over the next 3 days, Dai sent more music to the Vexari, each new song built on the last one. The Vexari answered each time with their own music. With each exchange, both sides understood each other better. People on Earth still felt afraid. They watched the sky with worry. Military forces stayed ready to fight, but the alien ships moved to less threatening positions with each passing day. On the 4th day, something big happened. The Vexari sent a new message. This time, they asked to come down to Earth to meet face to face. "Is this a trick?" many people asked. "Are they trying to get close so they can attack better?" Dai didn't think so. They could have attacked already if they wanted to. "I think they really want to talk." The world leaders chose a meeting place far from big cities. It was in the cold lands to the south, where few people lived. They built a special meeting room with good sound systems. Dai, Jia, Admiral Han, and 5 scientists went to meet the aliens. Heavy security surrounded them. Soldiers stood ready, even though Dai asked them to stay back. A small Vexari ship landed on the ice. It shined with blue lights. 3 tall aliens stepped out. They moved like water flowing. Their skin changed colors as they walked. When they got close, they made soft sounds that seemed almost like a greeting. The sounds didn't hurt human ears like before. Dai stepped forward. In his hand, he held a small flute. He played a simple melody, just a few notes that said, "Hello" and "Peace." The middle Vexari's skin rippled with colors. The patterns looked like the sound waves of Dai's music. Then the alien made sounds that matched Dai's melody, but with small changes. "They're answering," Dai said with a smile. "They're saying hello back." Admiral Han looked amazed. "You can understand them now." "Not everything," Dai said, "but enough. They want peace, not war. They need help, and they have much to teach us." That night, news spread around the world. The Vexari had come in peace. Earth had made first contact without firing a single shot. A musician had done what armies couldn't do. Dai looked at the stars that night and thought about music. It had always been his life. Now it had saved his world. He never wanted to fight. So he made them listen instead. On the day of the Vexari deadline, Earth went quiet. All normal radio and TV shows stopped. Every speaker in the world got ready to play Da's music. Ja and Sue sat in the main broadcast room. Big screens showed the Vexari ships floating above Earth. Scientists watched the ships closely, looking for any sign of attack. What if they don't listen? Ja asked softly. What if they just start shooting? Da looked at the music sheets in his hands. Then we tried our best, but I believe they will listen. They came across space to find us. They must want something more than just to destroy us. Admiral Han stood nearby with military leaders. They had their fingers ready on buttons that would launch Earth's weapons. Their faces were tight with worry. Are we really betting the whole planet on a song? One general asked. Admiral Han didn't smile. It's not just a song. It's a new language, and sometimes new languages build peace. At exactly noon, the broadcast began. Bridge Between Stars played from every speaker on Earth. It started with the sound of a single human heartbeat. Then, one by one, instruments joined in from all over the world. The music built a story. It showed how humans fought each other for years, how they nearly destroyed their own planet. But it also showed how they learned to work together, how they protected their home, how they dreamed of meeting others among the stars. For 8 minutes and 23 seconds, the time it takes light to travel from the sun to Earth, the music played. When the last note faded away, everyone held their breath. The screen showed the Vexari ships, still and silent in the sky. Nothing's happening, someone whispered. Day watched closely. Wait. 1 minute passed, then 2. The military leaders looked at each other nervously. Suddenly, one Vexari ship broke away from the others. It moved down toward Earth, stopping high in the sky. They're getting into attack position, a soldier shouted. No, Daz said. They're coming closer to hear better. All screens and radios suddenly turned on by themselves. A sound came through, but not the harsh, scary sounds from before. This sound was different. It had beauty and sadness and hope mixed together. Sue jumped to his computer. It's a response. They're answering our music with their own. The Vexari music lasted exactly as long as Bridge Between Stars. It filled the room with strange but beautiful patterns of sound. When it finished, everyone sat in silence. Then Jia began to cry softly. What does it mean? Admiral Han asked. Are they still going to attack? Da closed his eyes, thinking about what he had heard. A smile slowly grew on his face. No, he said. They're not going to attack. They're talking to us now, not threatening us. Their music, it told their story too. They've been fighting wars for a long time. They came here looking for help, not just to take our planet. You got all that from their music? A general asked in disbelief. Yes, Daz said. Music speaks what words can't, and for the first time, they know we can hear them. Really hear them. Outside, people looked up at the sky. The Vexari ships were moving away from their attack positions. A message of hope spread around the world. The music had worked. The aliens wanted to talk, not fight. Day and his team worked harder after their big moment. Now they knew they could speak to the Vexari in a way the aliens would understand, but they still had to build a whole music piece that told Earth's story. Jia worked with a team of scientists. They put small devices on people's heads to see how the Vexari sounds changed their brain patterns. The alien sounds actually change our body chemistry, Jia told Da. They can make us feel afraid just with sound. It's like they evolved to be natural mind readers. Day nodded, his fingers moving across his instrument. Then we used the same power to build a bridge, not a wall. Admiral Han still didn't fully believe in Daz's plan. The military kept building weapons in case the music failed. They made special ear covers to block the Vexari sound attacks. 3 days before the alien deadline, Dai had to show his music to Earth's leaders. They met in a big room with flags from many countries. All the important people wore the special ear covers. Today you will hear our answer to the Vexari, Daz said. He stood with 5 other musicians. This is not just music. It contains emotional patterns that should speak directly to the aliens' minds. Then they began to play. The music started simple, like a child's song. It had the sound of a heartbeat. Then more instruments joined in. The music grew and changed. It became happy, then sad, then hopeful. Though there were no words, the music seemed to tell a story. The story of humans learning to live together, to fight less, and build more. It showed how Earth's people learned from their mistakes, how they still hoped for a better future. When the last note faded away, the room was completely silent. One by one, the world leaders took off their ear covers. Many had tears in their eyes. The President of the United Council stood up. Her voice shook a little. What will this do to the aliens? It will make them feel what it means to be human, Daz said. And it will show them that we understand what it means to be afraid. An old general in the back spoke up. But will it stop them from attacking us? Daz looked at him. I don't know. But if they attack after truly feeling what we feel, then there was never any hope for peace. That night, Da couldn't sleep. He stood by his window, looking up at the Vexari ships that glowed in the night sky. Jia came to stand beside him. Are you scared? Yes, Daz said. What if I'm wrong? What if their minds are too different? What if they hear our music and still want to destroy us? Jia put her hand on his shoulder. Then at least we tried with music instead of bombs. That matters. Day nodded slowly. Tomorrow we send our message. What did you name it? Jia asked. Day looked up at the stars between the alien ships. I call it Bridge Between Stars. 1 week later, 50 musicians came to an old music hall deep under the city. The hall had thick walls where sound couldn't escape. People brought all kinds of instruments. Old drums from Africa, flutes from South America, guitars, pianos, and even strange new electronic soundboxes. Daz stood in front of them. He was usually shy, but today he spoke with fire in his voice. Thank you for coming, he said. What we need to do is hard. We must make music that can touch aliens who don't think like us. Music that can make them feel our feelings. Min, a young woman with a cello, raised her hand. How can we make aliens feel things? They're not human. They don't have the same hearts or brains. Good question, Daz said. But music follows rules. Math rules. I studied the Vexari sounds. Their patterns are different, but the way they build emotion is the same as ours, just at different speeds and heights. For days they worked. They tried different sounds. They recorded the Vexari messages and studied them. Daz set up computers to show how the alien sounds moved in waves and patterns. Some musicians got angry. This is taking too long, a drummer said. The aliens will attack soon. Keep trying, Daz said. We're getting closer. They slept on floors and ate simple food. No one went home. Outside, the world was getting ready for war. Inside, they looked for the right notes to make peace. On the 7th day, as the sun rose, Dai picked up a stringed instrument from Korea. It was like a flat guitar with many strings. His fingers moved across it, playing a simple song. The notes filled the room. They were low and sad. Everyone stopped what they were doing. The sound touched something deep inside them. One by one, tears began to roll down their faces. Even the tough drummer wiped his eyes. Da played the last note, and the room went quiet. What was that? Ja whispered. Her cheeks were wet with tears. That, Da said with a small smile, is the sound of grief in Vexari language. The musicians looked at each other with wide eyes. They understood now. If Da could make humans cry with alien emotions, maybe they could make aliens understand human feelings too. We only have 2 weeks left, Su said, checking his computer. The Vexari deadline is getting close. Then we work faster, Min said, picking up her cello. Day found the key. Now we can open the door. For the next 3 days, they built their musical message. It wasn't just one song. It was many pieces that flowed together. Each part told a story without words. The story of Earth, of humans, of hope and fear and courage. Will this stop them from attacking us? Admiral Han asked when he came to check their work. Day looked at the music sheets spread around the room. I don't know, he said honestly, but it will make them hear us, really hear us. And sometimes that's enough to stop a fight. Day came back to Earth. He went straight to his music room and locked the door. For 3 days, he didn't come out. The room was full of instruments, drums, flutes, pianos, and strange machines he had built himself. Jia knocked on his door each day. You need to eat, she said, leaving food outside. On the 4th day, Dai opened the door. His eyes were red. He hadn't slept much. I figured it out, he said to Jia. His voice was tired but excited. The Vexari don't just talk with sounds. Their sounds make us feel things. When they make those harsh noises, our brains feel fear. It's like their words are weapons. Jia looked worried. The Vexari said we have 30 days to surrender. 2 weeks are already gone. The army is getting ready for war. Day shook his head. Fighting won't work. I have a different idea. Later that day, Day met with Admiral Han. The old military man frowned at everything Day said. I need to use the world radio system, Day said. And I need to find 50 great musicians. Fast. Admiral Han hit the table with his fist. This is stupid. We should build bombs and guns, not play music. Day stayed calm. The Vexari use sound as their weapon. We must use sound as ours. That night, Day visited his old friend Sue. They sat in Day's small apartment. Through the window, they could see the lights of the city. Many buildings were dark. People were scared of the aliens. Sue was good with computers. Years ago, he had helped Da make programs that showed how music created feelings. If we study the sounds the Vexari make, Da said, drawing pictures of sound waves, we can make sounds that fight back. Maybe we can even make them feel what we feel. Sue laughed. You want to make big, scary aliens cry. Day didn't smile. I want them to understand us. When someone feels your pain, they stop hurting you. The next day, Day started calling musicians from around the world. Time was running out. The Vexari ships still hung in the sky like dark clouds. People looked up with fear, but Day had hope. He knew that the right music could touch any heart, even an alien one. Day Kim sat alone in his music room. His hands moved over his keyboard, creating sad music that made people cry. He didn't want fame. He just wanted to make music that touched hearts. One day, the sky turned dark. Giant ships filled the sky. The aliens called themselves the Vexari. They came with weapons and demands. They wanted Earth to give up. World leaders were scared. They didn't know how to talk to these aliens. The Vexari didn't use words like humans. They made strange sounds that hurt human ears. We need someone who understands sound and feeling, said General Lee during the emergency meeting. His finger pointed at Day's picture on the screen. This man studies how music creates emotions. Maybe he can understand their sounds. Day was eating dinner when soldiers came to his door. You must come with us, they said. Earth needs you. I'm just a musician, Day told the president the next day. His hands shook as he spoke. I make songs. I don't talk to aliens. The president looked tired. Their language is all sounds and tones. You understand how sounds make feelings. No one else can do this job. 3 days later, Day stood in a white room with his friend Jia. She would help him. They waited for the shuttle that would take them to the alien ship. I'm scared, Day whispered. Jia squeezed his hand. Just listen to them like you listen to music. Find the patterns. The alien ship was huge. It glowed with strange blue lights. Inside, the air felt thick and warm. The Vexari were tall and thin. Their skin changed colors like oil and water. Where faces should be, they had 3 flat pieces that moved and made sounds. The main Vexeri leader made harsh, sharp sounds. The human soldiers covered their ears in pain. The translator's machines sparked and broke. But Day stood still. He closed his eyes. He didn't try to hear words. Instead, he felt the sounds like he felt music. The harsh sounds had a pattern. They had a rhythm. And inside the scary noise, Dai felt something he knew well. "Stop," Dai said, raising his hand. Everyone looked at him. "They're not threatening us." "What do you mean?" asked the human captain. "Those sounds are clearly threats." Day shook his head. His voice was soft but sure. "No, they're scared. Those sounds, they're the sound of fear." The room went quiet. The aliens stopped making noise. Their skin turned a deep blue color. Day took a small flute from his pocket. Slowly, he played a gentle melody. The notes floated in the air, calm, peaceful, questioning. The Vexeri leader's skin rippled. It made a new sound, softer than before. Day smiled for the first time since the ships appeared. "Now we can talk," he said. "Now we can understand each other." The human captain looked shocked. "How did you do that?" "Music speaks what words can't," Dai said. "And sometimes, to stop a fight, you first need to make someone feel understood."